So, all right. So, good afternoon, teachers. We are live po para sa ating pang-sampu na, no, na session, our live discussion this afternoon. And we will be focusing more on TM, okay, research and TTL. And of course, please like and share our live this afternoon para mas marami po tayong matulungan, okay? Mga ilang percent na po ba kayong ready? Okay, you only have at least 13, di ba? 13 days bago po yung actual board examination ninyo. Okay, mga ilang percent na po ba? Naka 90% na po ba, no? Out of 100 as preparation po sa inyong board examination? Pakilapag po. Okay, magandang hapon po, Miss Karen, Sir Rico. Magandang hapon po. Yes po, no? Recorded po ito. It will be uploaded po sa ating page at the same time po sa ating YouTube channel. Okay, magandang hapon po, Sir Arman. Paki-share po, no? Paki-share, paki-like po, at paki-mention po ng inyong mga friends sa ating comment section. Okay, so of course, I would like to remind everyone, no, palapit na po yung ating pre-board examination that will happen po on March 16, 2025. That is Sunday, no? That is 100% free, okay? So don't worry po sa mga fees, that is 100% free. And of course, we also have our final coaching right after po ng ating pre-board examination that will happen on March 17 to 19, okay? Tatlong araw po yan na rationalization po ng ating pre-board examination. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. Okay, so without further ado, I welcome you all sa ating pang-sampu na session. And of course, let's begin our session with item number 1. Again, please don't forget po yung ating item, no? Yung number at saka yung correct choice po natin. At least ma-determine po natin anong bilang, okay? Or anong number na nagkamali po tayo. Right? Okay, item number 1 here. There is a need to enhance student engagement in an online class. What technology tool would be most effective for creating interactive lessons? Is that A, learning management system or LMS? Letter B, digital whiteboard. Letter C, ebook reader. O letter D, word processor. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. What is the best choice here for item number 1? Pakilapag po. Okay, ano po bang klaseng tool yung appropriate, no, when it comes to creating interactive lessons? Ano po yan? Is that LMS po ba? Letter B, digital whiteboard. Letter C, ebook reader. Letter D, processor. Ano po yung tamang sagot? I see a lot of letter B's. Tama po ba yung letter B? Again, please don't forget po yung ating item at saka yung correct letter of our choice. Okay? Okay, I see a lot of letter B's. Tama po ba yung letter B? Okay, wag na po natin tagalin. The best option here would be letter B. Okay, yung digital whiteboard po natin. Tandaan po, yung mga digital whiteboards natin, katulad po ng Jamboard natin, no? Ito po ay nag-a-allow ng ating teachers to interactively present lessons, di ba? and write notes in real time, and even po tumutulong din po siya to engage our students in live collaboration. Okay? Yan po yung ating digital whiteboard. Pag sinabi nating LMS dito, ito po yung learning management system natin, no, na ginagamit natin or useful lamang po siya when it comes to organizing lessons, pero hindi po siya directly na ginagamit natin to create interactive lessons. Yan po yung ating LMS. Yung literacy naman natin dito, yung ebook reader, ito po yung ginagamit no, when it comes to helping, di ba, our learners to read. Okay? Yan po yung function ng ating ebook reader dito. So hindi po siya applicable when it comes to creating interactive lessons. Kaya ECAS po yung letter C. Yung letter D naman, yung word processor natin dito, ito po yung ginagamit natin no, when it comes to writing, di ba? So hindi po siya applicable when it comes to effective or creating interactive lessons. So the best option here for item number 1 ay walang iba kundi yung letter B. Again, letter B po yung tamang sagot, which is our digital whiteboard. Okay, sana nakuha? That's item number 1. We go to item number 2. A school is shifting to blended learning. Okay, tandaan po natin. Again, ulitin ko po ito, teachers, it's okay po, no? Highlight na mag-underline po sa ating questionnaire during our actual board examination. Wag lang po sa Scranton, okay? Mag-highlight po kayo doon, okay? Mag-eliminate po kayo ng mga options na nandoon po sa ating questionnaire. So at least makuha po natin yung tamang sagot, okay? As school is shifting to blended learning, what strategy should teachers use to effectively integrate technology? Again, integrate technology in their lesson plans. Is that A, rely entirely on online resources? Letter B, use a mix of digital and traditional teaching methods? Letter C, replace classroom discussions with recorded lectures? Or letter D, focus only on high-tech tools while ignoring student preferences? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po. Item number 2, what is the best choice here? Okay, I see a lot of letter B's. Tama po ba yung letter B? Okay, ang daming sumasagot ng letter B. Okay, use of mix of digital and traditional teaching methods. Tama po ba yan? Alright, sige, lapag lang po. Okay, so let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito. Magpugay po lahat na nagsagot ng letter B. Okay, use of digital and traditional teaching methods. Tandaan po natin, yung ating blended learning dito, ay nagko-combine po siya, di ba? Combination po siya ng online learning with face-to-face instruction, no? Providing a balanced approach for students. Yun po yung ating blended learning. Why not the other options here? Kasi pag sinabi nating letter A, rely entirely on online sources, ito po ay hindi epektibo, no? When it comes to having effectiveness, 'di ba, sa ating for all students. So hindi po siya effective. Yung letter C naman natin, this ito po yung repeat ng ating classroom discussions now with recorded lectures. Ito po ay nagre-remove ng tinatawag natin na valuable student-teacher interaction. Okay? So, hindi po pwede na i-replace po natin yung classroom discussions with recorded lectures. Yung letter G naman, of course, magre-rely lamang po tayo or magpo-focus tayo only on high-tech tools while ignoring po yung ating student preferences, hindi rin po pwede yan. So, okay? So, as teachers po, as future teachers, tandaan po natin or we should consider po yung mga students' needs natin and even po yung tinatawag natin na kanilang preferences, okay? Hindi lang po dapat limited when it comes to technology, okay? We also have to consider yung mga needs nila and preferences. So the best option here, of course, we're talking about blended learning, so letter B po yung tamang sagot, okay? Ito po ay combination or mix po ng digital and traditional teaching methods. Kaya letter B po yung tamang sagot. Okay, sana nakuha? That's item number 2. Letter B po yung tamang sagot. We go to item number 3. A student is struggling to understand math concepts. Again, struggling to understand math concepts. Which technology-based approach would help reinforce their learning? Is it A, assigning more textbooks readings? Letter B, encouraging them to memorize formulas. Letter C, asking them to review notes independently. O letter D, recommending a math tutorial app. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po. Item number 3, ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section, what is the best choice for item number 3? Okay, ang daming sumasagot ng letter D. Tama po ba? Okay, technology-based approach. Ano po yan? Is it pagbibigay po or pag-a-assign ng textbooks para mas marami pong mabasa yung learners natin? Or is it letter B, encouraging them to memorize formulas? Okay, memorization. Or letter C, asking them to review notes independently. Or letter D, recommend a math tutorial app. Ano po yung tamang sagot? I see a lot of letter D's. Tama po ba yung letter D? Okay. Tama po ba yan? Tama po ba yung letter G? Alright. Huwag na po natin patagalin. The best option here for item number 3 ay walang iba kundi yung letter D natin. Okay? Tandaan po natin when it comes to recommending yung math tutorial app po natin, yung math apps po, no, yung mga halimbawa po niyan, yung mga Khan Academy, di ba? Even po yung Photomath, di ba? Ayan po yung ginagamit natin because bibigay po sila ng interactive explanations, di ba? Pakikita din po natin yung mga step-by-step solutions and even po tumutulong din po sa ating learners to practice, nagkakaroon po sila ng practice exercises, no, para matulungan po yung students natin to understand concepts. Okay, yan po yung ating mga mathematical tutorial apps. Yung letter A natin dito, hindi po pwede na magbibigay tayo ng mga textbooks na para marami po silang mabasa. It will cause boredom nga, okay? Passive reading, so hindi po pwede yan, okay? This may not clarify the students' difficulties. Yan po yung letter A. Yung letter B naman natin dito, of course, tandaan po natin, understanding why yung formulas natin or yung kung paano natin i-solve yung mga concepts, no, sa mathematics, ikinakailangan po yan. Hindi po pwede na ipa-memorize lang po natin yung mga formulas. Okay? Yung letter C naman, of course, ito po yung tandaan, hindi po siya nakakatulong kasi nga po may mga bagay-bagay na hindi po mauunawaan ng ating learners. So dapat at least mabibigyan po natin sila ng mga guidance, di po ba? So hindi po pwede na i-assign na lang po natin sila na i-review yung mga notes nila independently. Okay? So the best option here for item number 3 ay walang iba kundi yung letter D natin. We have to recommend, okay? Yung mga halimbawa po ng mga math tutorial apps natin. Okay? So the best option here would be letter G. Okay? Letter G po yung tamang sagot. We go to item number 4. A teacher wants to assess student learning efficiently in large class. Again, assess student learning tool would be the best choice. Is that A, printed quizzes. Letter B, online quiz platforms such as Kahoot or Google Forms. Letter C, one-on-one verbal assessments. O letter D, handwritten essays. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. What is the best choice here? Again, you might wonder bakit ganito po yung tanungan natin sa ating majorship. May pagkaalap Prof. Ed po siya kasi nga po ito po ay under ng TTL. Okay? Yan po yung Technology for Teaching and Learning. Okay? Ano po yung tamang sagot for item number 4? I see letter B. Yes. Tama po ba yung letter B? Ang daming sumasagot ng letter B. Pakilapag po. Okay, so let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito. Magpugay po lahat na nagsagot ng letter B, yung online quiz platforms natin, no? Halimbawa po yung Kahoot natin, no? Or yung even ang Google Forms, di ba? Yung ginagawa natin, di ba? Prior po nito ng ating live discussion, di ba? Nagbigay po ako ng quiz sa inyo through Google Forms, okay? Tandaan po yun, no, yung mga online quiz platforms natin, ito po ay nag-a-allow ng ating mga teachers to quickly administer and grade quizzes, no, making yung assessment natin faster and more interactive. Yan po yung ating or yung function ng ating quiz platforms or yung quiz platforms natin. Halimbawa po niyan yung Kahoot at saka Google Forms, okay? Yung letter A natin dito, ito po ay EKES, okay? Yung printed quizzes natin kasi nga po ito po ay napaka-time consuming, 'di ba? Napaka-time consuming po siya kasi we're focusing more on digital na, so yung letter A, EKES na po 'yan. Yung letter C naman, one-on-one assessments, ito po ay not practical for large classes. Okay? Just imagine, di ba, ang daming students mo, magkakaroon ka po ng one-on-one verbal assessments, napaka-time consuming din po yan, no? Katulad po ng ating letter A. Kaya EKES din po yung letter C. Yung letter D naman natin, handwritten essays, okay? Tandaan po natin, ito po ay good, no? Better po siya when it comes to deep learning, okay? But not efficient po when it comes to quick assessments, okay? So, of course, we're looking about here kung anong klaseng tool yung gagamitan natin when it comes to assessing our student learning, most especially in large classes. The best option here would be letter B, okay? We have to use yung mga quiz platforms. Yung halimbawa po yung Kahoot at saka Google Forms, okay? Letter B po yung tamang sagot for item number 4. We go to item number 5. Which of the following best describes the role, tandaan po, best describes the role of technology in teaching and learning? Ano po yan? Is that a tool that to replace traditional teaching methods? Letter B, a support system that enhances learning experiences. Letter C, a distraction that limits student engagement. Or letter D, a complex system that only benefits tech-savvy learners? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Item number 5, ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po. Okay, ang daming sumasagot ng letter B. Tama po ba yung letter B? Okay, lapag lang po. Okay, letter B. Tama po ba yung letter B? Ano po ba yung role mismo ng ating technology when it comes to teaching and learning? Is it a tool to replace traditional teaching methods? Letter B, a support system. Letter C, a distraction. Or letter D, a complex system that only benefits tech-savvy learners? Ano po yung tamang sagot? I see a lot of letter B's. Tama po ba yung letter B? Okay. So let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito ay walang iba kundi yung letter B. Okay, ito po ay support system, no, that enhances learning experiences. Yan po yung purpose or yung one of the functions ng ating technology when it comes to teaching and learning. Okay, tandaan po natin yung technology natin mismo, it serves as a valuable tool, no, when it comes to education. Ito ba ay tumutulong, di ba? Tumutulong po sa ating teachers to make lessons more interactive, accessible, and even engaging. Okay, yan po yung isa sa mga functions ng ating technology, no? It also supports, okay, tumutulong din po ito in various learning styles. Okay, tandaan po, ito po ay encourages din po ng tinatawag natin na collaboration and even po nagpo-provide ng real-time feedback. Yan po yung ating function mismo ng ating technology. Kaya letter B po yung tamang sagot. Yung letter A natin dito, tandaan mo, a tool to replace traditional teaching methods, hindi po pwede, okay? Yung purpose po ng ating technology is to support, di ba? To complement yung ating traditional teaching methods. Hindi po pwede na i-replace, okay, yung ating traditional teaching methods. Hindi naman po yung function ng ating technology. Kaya EKES po yung letter A natin. Yung letter C naman natin, of course, natin, distraction that limits student engagement, okay? When used effectively po, yung ating technology, nag-i-increase po yan ng engagement, okay? Rather than limiting it, okay? Tandaan po natin, yung well-integrated digital tools po natin can improve motivation and even po yung tinatawag natin na comprehension among our learners. Kaya, EKAS po yung letter C natin kasi nga po distraction that limits student engagement, hindi naman po siya makukonsider, no? Hindi po natin ma-generalize na distraction po yung ating technology. Okay? Yung letter D naman natin, modern educational technology is designed po no to be user-friendly and accessible to all learners, okay? Regardless po of their technology skills. Okay? Hindi lang po pwede na yung tech savvy students lamang po yung makaka-benefit when it comes to using technology. But of course, yung technology natin nowadays ay napaka-user-friendly, okay? Everyone can use it. So of course, we're talking about here the role or yung function ng ating technology. So the best option here would be letter B, okay? Ito po ay support system, no, na nag-i-enhance po ng learning experiences. Okay, yan po yung tamang sagot for item number 5. We go to item number 6. Teacher Jeff needs to provide immediate digital feedback on student assignments. Again, immediate. Digital feedback on student assignments with the built-in grading and feedback tools. Letter D, waiting until the end of the term for a comprehensive report. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section, what is the best option for item number 6? Is it A, B, C, or D? Item number 6, what is the best option here? Okay, I see a lot of letter C's. Tama po ba yung letter C? Okay, pakilapag lang po. Alright, so ang daming sumasagot ng letter C, okay? Are you sure letter C po ba yung tamang sagot? Mhm. So let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito for item number 6 ay walang iba kundi yung letter C, okay? We have to use yung mga LMS natin, no? Or yung mga learning management system natin with built-in grading and feedback tools, okay? Tandaan po natin yung halimbawa po ng mga LMS natin, yung mga Google Classroom, di ba? Ito po ay nag-a-allow ng ating teachers to give real-time feedback, di ba? Improving student learning. Yan po yung ating letter C. Yung letter A natin dito, emailing after a week, napaka-delay na po, no? Delay na po yung ating feedback, kaya hindi po applicable po yung ating letter A. As what I have mentioned nga, no, previously sa ating mga discussions, when it comes to giving feedback, kinakailangan po na immediate, di ba? Or right after po ng ating assessment. Kasi nga po napaka-epektibo pa po ng inyong feedback kapag immediate po yung pagbibigay ninyo. Hindi po pwede na after a week or after a month, okay? So hindi po pwede 'yan. Of course, yung letter A natin dito, ekes yan. So, yung letter D, of course, ekes din po ito. Kasi nga po, maghihintay ka pa, di ba? Ng end of the term for a comprehensive report, ay napaka-ekes na po or napaka-too late na, di ba? Too late na po yung iyong feedback. So, hindi po pwede yan. Yung letter B naman natin, writing comments on a physical paper. Okay, tandaan po, napaka-slow po ito, no? Slower and not ideal for digital learning. Okay, we're talking about here digital. So of course, the best option here would be letter C. Okay, we have to use a certain LMS or yung mga Google Classroom natin with built-in grading and feedback tools. Diba? Yung halimbawa niyan, like for example, sa ating Google Classroom, magbibigay po yung teacher natin ng mga modules, diba? Sasagutan natin or for example, we have to turn in or submit yung ating mga assignments. Pwedeng-pwede sila mag-comment, diba? Private comment, magbibigay po sila ng feedback sa gawa mong assignment. Yan po yung halimbawa ng ating LMS. So the best option here would be letter C. Okay, letter C po yung tamang sagot. We go to item number 7. Lisa, a high school teacher, wants to make a history lesson more engaging. Okay, a history lesson. Which of the following would be the best approach? Is it A, using only printed textbooks? Letter B, incorporating virtual reality or VR to explore historical sites? Letter C, assigning memorization tasks? O letter D, writing lecture notes on the board? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Is that A, B, C, or D? Pakilapag po. I see a lot of letter B's. Tama po ba yung letter B? Again, paki-like po, paki-share ng ating live so at least marami po tayong matulungan ng mga aspirants no, ng mga future LPTs din po. Item number 7, ano po yung tamang sagot? All right, I see a lot of letter B's, incorporating virtual reality. Tama po ba yan? Okay, so let's reveal. Wag na po nating patagalin. The best option here would be letter B. Okay, letter B po yung tamang sagot. We have to incorporate yung virtual reality or VR. Okay? Bakit nga ba? Kasi nga po yung VR, most especially po when we're talking about historical explorations, yung virtual reality po natin, tumutulong po siya, no? Or it makes our learning immersive and engaging. So, makakatulong po no sa ating students to experience history firsthand. Yan po yung ating virtual reality. Yung letter A natin dito, tandaan po, using only printed textbooks, medyo it will cause boredom sa ating students. So, hindi po siya applicable when it comes to engaging our learners in the field of history. Kaya X po yung letter A. Yung letter C naman natin, memorization, of course, X na din po yan kasi medyo may pagka-traditional na, okay? Memorize, so X na po yan. Yung letter D naman natin, writing lecture notes on the board, okay? Just what I have mentioned, yung letter A, letter C, at saka letter D, medyo it will cause boredom po sa ating students, most especially that we are talking history lesson, di ba? So as teachers, dapat maghahanap po tayo ng mga ways para ma-incorporate po natin sa ating lesson note to make it more interactive. Okay? So the best option here ay mag-incorporate po tayo ng VR or virtual reality. So I hope na familiar po kayo sa virtual reality. Okay? Item number 7, yan po yung tamang sagot, letter B po. We go to item number 8. A teacher notices that students get distracted easily during online classes. What is the best solution? Is it A, reducing interaction in using long lectures? Letter B, using gamification and interactive tools to keep students engaged. Letter C, asking students to turn off their computers and listen quietly. O letter D, assigning more homework to compensate distractions. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Distracted sila, no? Yung ating mga students during online classes. Ano po yung pinaka best or the best solution na gagawin po ni teacher? Is it A, magre-reduce po ng interaction? Okay, magbibigay po siya ng long lectures. Letter B, magkakaroon po ng gamification or interactive tools. Letter C, asking students to turn off their computers. Ano po ito? Letter D, or assigning more homework. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Item number 8, what is the best choice here? I see a lot of letter B. Tama po ba yung letter B? Okay, ang gagaling ng taong bayan. Ang daming sumasagot ng letter B. Handang-handa na ito, no, sa board examination. Okay, tama po ba yung letter B? Okay. So let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito for item number 8 ay walang iba kundi yung letter B. Okay? We have to use no yung mga gamification or games, 'di ba? And interactive tools to keep students engaged. Okay, tandaan po yung mga gamification natin or yung mga interactive tools natin, yan po yung pag-i-include natin no or pag-i-incorporate natin ng mga elements katulad po ng quizzes, yung mga rewards, 'di ba? Yung discussion activities na magki-keep po ng ating students actively engaged. Yan po yung ibig sabihin ng letter B. Yung letter A natin dito, reducing interaction and using long lectures. And then po, long learners, again, as what I have mentioned earlier, magkakaroon po ito ng boredom no, among our learners. So, most especially kapag yung learners natin, may mga short span lang yung kanilang attention kaya hindi po applicable yung long lectures natin. Yung letter C naman, asking students to turn off their computers and listen quietly. Of course, we're talking about your online classes. So, hindi po pwede na i-turn off mo yung computers nila. So, X po yung letter C. Yung letter D naman, assigning more homework to compensate for distractions, hindi naman po ito ideal, no? As a teacher, hindi po pwede na tatambakan mo yung students mo ng homework, okay? So, X po yung letter D. So, of course, to make our lesson more interactive, okay, more engaging, so we have to use no gamifications and interactive tools. So, the best option here would be letter B, okay? Letter B po yung tamang sagot. We go to item number 9. Teacher J wants to ensure students understand a lesson. Tanan po, understand a lesson before moving to the next topic. What is the best strategy? Is it A, using formative assessments through online quizzes? Letter B, giving students extra homework? Letter C, moving on to the next lesson regardless of understanding? Letter C, asking students to write a summary after class? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Mhm. Si Teacher J daw gusto niya na i-ensure yung mga estudyante niya or yung mga learners niya, na-understand nila mismo yung lesson, okay? Bago po siya mag-move or mag-jump to the next topic. Ano po yung dapat niyang gagawin? Is it A, magbibigay po siya ng formative assessments? Letter B, giving students extra homework? Letter C, moving on to the next lesson without or regardless of understanding? Already asking students to write summary after class. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Item number 9. What is the best option here? Okay, I see a lot of letter A's. Tama ba yung letter A? Magbibigay po ng formative assessments through online quizzes? Tama po ba yan? All right. So let's reveal, ang dami sumasagot ng letter A. So of course, magdiwang po lahat na nagsagot ng letter A. Okay, we have to use formative assessments, no? Sa pamamagitan po ng mga online quizzes natin. Okay, as what I have mentioned kanina, yung mga Kahoots, di ba? Yung Google Forms. Yan po yung halimbawa ng mga digital online quizzes natin. Okay? Yung quizzes, okay, kabilang din po yan. Ito po ay nagbibigay ng instant feedback, di ba? Nagbibigay po sila ng instant feedback, helping teachers gauge student understanding. Okay, dyan mo po ma-assess yung napag-aralan mismo or yung understanding ng iyong students bago ka po mag-jump sa next topic. Yan po yung purpose actually ng ating formative assessments. Okay? Yung letter B naman natin dito, pagbibigay po ng extra homework, okay, tandaan po natin, homework helps, okay, but doesn't check immediate understanding. Yung letter C naman natin, of course, moving on without assessment, it leads to learning gaps. Okay, magkakaroon po ng learning gap yung estudyante mo o yung learners mo kasi nga po, hindi mo po na-address, okay, or hindi mo po naipaliwanag, okay, ng mabuti po sa iyong estudyante yung lesson mo mismo. Okay? Kaya magkakaroon po ng learning gap sila. Yung letter D naman natin, writing summaries, tandaan po, it helps with reflection. Okay? Tumutulong po ito when it comes to personal reflection but doesn't assess understanding in real time. Okay? So, X din po yung letter G natin. So, the best option here would be using formative assessment sa pamamagitan po ng online quizzes. Okay? Letter A po yung tamang sagot. We go to item number 10. Mr. Santos wants to make learning accessible to students with different needs. Okay? Ito din po siya. Tandaan po ito, no? Yung mga ganito-ganito, okay? Kasi nga po, during actual board examination noong September, ang dami pong lumabas na SPED, okay? Pag-aralan niyo po yung mga special education, okay? Yan po yung majority po ng mga concepts na nandoon sa Prof Ed is actually under SPED. What should they do? Is that A, use a one-size-fits-all approach? Tandaan po, one-size-fits-all approach. Letter B, provide multiple learning formats, multiple learning formats. Halimbawa po niyan, yung audio, yung text, at saka video content. Letter C, require all students to use only one type of digital tool. Or letter D, expect students to adapt to traditional learning methods. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Again, we're talking about here different needs. Ano po yung gagawin mo? Is that A, one size fits all? Letter B, multiple learning formats. Letter C, require all students to use only one type of digital tool. Letter D, expect students to adopt traditional learning methods. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po. Item number 10, what is the best choice here? Ang daming sumasagot ng letter B. Tama po ba yung letter B? Okay. Okay, so it seems like all of your answers are letter B. So of course, tama po yung letter B natin. Okay? Tandaan po, providing multiple learning formats. Okay? Ito po ay under ng ating UDL. Okay? I hope familiar po kayo sa UDL. Yan po yung tinatawag natin na Universal Design Learning. Okay? Or Universal Design for Learning. Okay? Ito po ay nagre-recommend no, to use multiple means of representation to support diverse learners. Okay? Once we say different needs, of course, we're talking about here yung diverse learners natin mismo. Okay? So, hindi po pwede na magbibigay ka po ng one size fits all approach, okay? May mga bagay po kasi or may mga approach na akma po sa isang estudyante pero hindi po no, hindi po siya suitable when it comes to pagbibigay po ng learning approach sa ibang estudyante. Kaya ECAS po yung letter A natin. Yung letter C natin, of course, similar din po siya sa letter A, kaya ECAS din po ito. Yung letter D naman natin, of course, expect students to adapt to traditional learning methods. Okay, tandaan po, modern na po tayo ngayon, okay? So, dapat less na po yung traditional learning natin. So, of course, the best option here would be letter B. Okay, magbibigay po tayo ng multiple learning formats. Okay, either po yung estudyante mo ay auditory learner, di ba? Mabilis po siyang matuto when it comes to hearing audios. Okay? Yan po yung pagbibigay mo ng audio. Yung text po. Okay? And of course, video content. Okay? The more senses na involved po sa ating estudyante is mas better po yung learning. Kaya letter B po yung tamang sagot. We have to provide multiple learning formats. Kaya letter B po yung tamang sagot for item number 10. Sana nakuha? We go to item number 11. Annalisa was assigned to determine the consequences of differences between groups of people. Again, consequences of differences between groups of people. Which of these research types should she use? Is it A, experimental, letter B, survey, letter C, qualitative, or letter D, casual, comparative? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section, what is the best choice for item number 11? Okay. I see letter D. Tama po ba yung letter D? Meron ding letter C. Again, we're talking about here yung consequences mismo no, ng differences between groups of people. Ano po yan? Experimental po ba? Letter B, survey. Letter C, qualitative. O letter D, yung casual comparative natin. I see a lot of letter D's. Tama po ba yung letter D? Sige, pakilapag lang po. Ang daming sumasagot ng letter D. Okay, wag na po natin patagalin. The best option here would be magpugay po no lahat na nasagot ng letter D. Okay, yan po yung casual comparative natin. Okay, tandaan po, pag sinabi natin casual comparative, ito po nag-i-examine ng cause and effect. Again, nag-i-examine po siya ng cause and effect relationships between groups, okay, based on pre-existing differences without manipulating variables. Hindi po siya what do you call this? Hindi po siya natin mina-manipulate. Yan po yung ating casual comparative. Yung letter A natin, experimental, ito po ay nagre-require ng manipulation or requires manipulating variables. Kaya ECAS po yung letter A. Yung letter B naman natin, survey, ito po yung paggamit natin no ng pagko-collect natin ng mga opinions, behaviors, and even po yung mga characteristics ng ating groups. Kaya ECAS din po yung letter B. Pag sinabi naman nating qualitative, of course, we are focusing more on exploring subjective experiences, yung mga narrative, yung mga opinions, yan po yung mga views, di ba? Yan po yung ating qualitative approach or yung design natin. So of course, we're talking about here yung consequences mismo no without manipulation. So the best option here would be letter D, yung casual comparative po. Okay? Magko-compare ka lamang, okay? Wala ka pong ima-manipulate na variables. Kaya letter D po yung tamang sagot. We go to item number 12. Which of the following can be considered as qualitative approach? Is it A, exploring the lived experiences of first-time mothers? Letter B, the effects of sleep deprivation on student performance? Letter C, the relationship between social media usage and academic performance? Or letter D, the impact of a new teaching strategy on math test scores? Ano po yung tamang sagot? We're talking about here qualitative research. Ano po yan? Letter A po ba? Letter B, letter C, o letter G? Okay, what is the best option here? Huwag na po natin patagalin. The best option for item number 12 ay walang iba kundi yung ano po ba? Okay, so let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito ay walang iba kundi yung letter A. We have to exploring the lived experiences of first-time mothers. Okay, tandaan po natin, ito po ay halimbawa ng qualitative research, no? Because it aims to understand ano po yung mga personal experiences nila. Okay, tandaan po, no? Lived experiences po ng ating first-time mothers. Okay, sa pamamagitan po, magkakaroon po tayo ng ideas ano po ba yung mga personal experiences nila sa pamamagitan po ng interviews, yung observations, and even po thematic analysis. Yan po yung ating letter A. So, halimbawa po siya ng qualitative. Yung letter B natin, of course, ito po ay nagpa-follow ng experimental design, no? Where yung variables natin, which is our deprivation dito ay manipulated, okay? Manipulado po siya and measured quantitatively. Kaya hindi po siya example ng ating qualitative. Yung letter C naman natin, of course, X din po ito kasi nga po we're talking about here yung relationship, okay? Relationship. So ito po ay halimbawa ng tinatawag natin na correlational research, no? Yung letter D naman natin, tandaan po, ito po ay halimbawa ng quasi-experimental or yung experimental research natin mismo because we are talking about here yung cause and effect. Okay, cause and effect using numerical data. So, X din po yung letter D natin. So, again, we're talking about your qualitative, narrative, okay, personal views, opinions, okay, yan po yung ating letter A. Ano po yung mga personal experiences ng ating first-time mothers, okay? Sa pamamagitan po ng mga interviews, okay, yan po yung ating qualitative research. That's item number 12, letter A po yung tamang sagot. We go to item number 13. In conducting a research study, what must be considered when examining relevant laws? Tandaan po, relevant laws, regulations, and ethical guidelines that are pertinent to the problem. Is it A, exploratory questions? Letter B, ethical basis? Letter C, literature review? Or letter D, terminologies? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Item number 13, what is the best choice here? Exploratory po ba, ethical, literature, or terminologies? Item number 13, what is the best choice here? Pakilapag po. Ang daming sumasagot ng letter B, ethical basis. Tama po ba yan? Alright, ang daming sumasagot ng letter B, ethical basis. Okay, so let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito ay walang iba kundi yung letter B. Okay, letter B po mismo yung mga ethical basis natin. Tandaan yung ethical basis po natin, ito po nag-i-ensure no, na yung research study natin mismo prior to conducting it, okay, nagpa-follow po siya ng ethical principles, okay? Ethical principles, legal requirements, and even moral considerations. So, mga halimbawa po niyan, yung mga informed consent, yung confidentiality, and even po yung compliance with relevant laws. Yan po yung ating once we're talking about ethical basis. Yung letter A natin, exploratory questions, ito po yung ginagamit natin no, to guide the early stages of research by identifying key topics. Kaya X po yung letter A natin. Yung letter C naman natin, literature review, of course, ito po ay nag-i-involve ng reviewing existing research no, related po sa ating topic. Kaya X po yung letter C natin. Yung letter D naman, of course, yung terminologies, ito po yung pagde-define natin ng mga key concepts sa ating study. Kaya ECAS po yung letter D. So, of course, we're talking about here yung mga relevant laws, yung mga regulations and ethical guidelines. Ethical, di ba? So, the best option here would be letter B, yung mga ethical basis po. We go to item number 14. The researchers selected 5 participants. Again, 5 participants as representatives from a particular grade 9 section composed of 20 students. What do you call the subset of population? Is it A, population, letter B, sample, letter C, procedure, or letter D, respondents? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Again, we're talking about here subset of population. Ano po ito? Letter A, population mismo, letter B, sample, letter C, procedure, or letter D, respondents? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Item number 14, what is the best choice here? Okay, letter B. Tama po ba yung letter B? Sample po ba? Okay, ang dami sumasagot ng letter B. So let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito ay walang iba kundi yung magpugay po, no? Lahat ng nagsagot ng letter B. Yan po yung ating sample. Okay? Sorry. Pag sinabi nating sample, ito po ay subset ng tinatawag natin na population, okay? Selected for research to represent, okay? They serve as representatives, all right? And of the larger group and make inferences about the whole population, okay? Sa ating tanong dito, yung 5 participants po, yan po yung ating representatives or yung subset ng ating populations, okay? Sino po ba yung ating population dito? Ito po yung 20 students. Okay? Yan po yung ating population natin mismo. Tandaan po, again, letter A, yung population po natin, X na po ito kasi nga po we're talking about subset of population kaya hindi na po pwede na isagot yung population mismo. Okay? Yung letter C naman natin, procedure, ito po yung methods. Okay? Methods and steps na ginagamit natin when it comes to conducting our study. Kaya X din po yung ating letter C. Yung letter D natin, respondents, tandaan po, while the chosen participants may be referred to as respondents, but we're talking about here the correct term, okay? Ano po ba yung correct term na tinatawag natin sa subset of population? So the best option here would be sample, okay? Yan po yung tinatawag natin na sample, subset. Okay? Ito po yung 5 participants natin, ito po yung ating sample from our population. So the best option here would be letter B, sample po. Item number 15, which best describes clear definitions? Again, best describes clear definitions in the research study. Is it A, unambiguous, letter B, broad, letter C, non-ethical, or letter D, flowering? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Again, we're talking about here yung clear definitions po no, ng ating mga terminologies na nakapaloob po sa ating research study. Ano po yan? Unambiguous po ba? Letter B, broad. Letter C, non-ethical. O letter D, flowering. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Okay, pakilapag po sa ating comment section what is the best choice for item number 15. Okay, I see letter A. Tama po ba yung letter A? Okay, ang daming sumasagot ng letter A. All right. Okay, wag na po natin patagalin. The best option here for item number 15 ay walang iba kundi yung letter A, yung unambiguous po natin. Bakit? Bakit? Ano po ba yung ibig sabihin ng unambiguous? So it means yung mga clear definitions po natin sa ating research study ay precise. Tandaan po, precise po sila at saka straightforward. Okay? And free from confusion or multiple interpretations to ensure accuracy and reliability. Yan po yung pag sinabi nating unambiguous. Pag sinabi nating broad, of course, ECAS po ito kasi nga po yung definitions natin ay dapat specific, okay? Specific sila to avoid misinterpretation, okay? So, X po yung broad natin. Yung letter C natin, non-ethical, yung ethics po natin, related po, no, when it comes to moral considerations. So, hindi po siya related sa ating definitions dito. Kaya ang letter D naman, flowering, ito po ay unrelated, di ba? Unrelated po siya sa ating research definitions in more associated po sa tinatawag natin na descriptive or poetic language. Okay? Kaya X din po yung letter D natin. So, of course, we're talking about here, ano po yung characteristic ng tinatawag natin na clear definitions na nakapaloob po sa ating research study, okay, or definition of terms. So the best option here, it should be unambiguous, okay, precise po siya at saka straightforward or specific, okay. That's item number 15. Letter A po yung tamang sagot. We go to item number 16. Annalisa successfully applied her knowledge, again, applied her knowledge, skills, and attitude to specific work activity. What is this application called? Is it A, competency? Letter B, workplace standard? Letter C, performance? O letter D, training? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Item number 16, pakilapag po sa ating comment section. What is the best option here? Item number 16, ano po yung tamang sagot? Okay, ang daming sumasagot ng letter A. Ito po ay na-rephrase lamang, okay? Apply, di ba? Application of knowledge, skills, and C po ba ang tamang sagot? Okay, I see a lot of letter A's. Tama ba yung letter A? Competency po ba? Sige, pakilapag lang po. Alright, so let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito since ang dami din po sumasagot ng letter A. Yan po yung ating competency na tinatawag. Okay? Again, tandaan po natin, when we say competency po, ito po ay abilidad natin, no, to effectively apply our knowledge. Okay? Yung knowledge po natin, yung skills, and even po yung attitudes natin, no, to perform tasks according to expected standards. Yan po yung tinatawag natin na competency. Kaya check po yung letter A. Yung letter B natin, workplace standard, tandaan po natin, ito po yung mga rules, di ba? Rules or benchmarks na siniset po natin or siniset po ng organization. Kaya hindi po hindi po ito application, no, ng knowledge and skills. Kaya X po yung letter B. Yung letter C natin, performance, okay, tandaan po, performance itself is a measurement of output, hindi po siya application ng skills and knowledge. Kaya X din po yung letter C. Yung letter D natin dito, yung training, of course, ito po yung proseso. Again, ito po yung proseso na pagbibigay po ng learning or acquiring new learning skills. Yan po yung ating letter G. So, of course, we're talking about here application of knowledge and skills and attitude. So, the best option here would be letter A. Okay, yan po yung competency. We go to item number 17. What is the training delivery mode that allows trainees to be exposed and immersed in actual workplace? Again, actual workplace. Ano po ito? Is it A, self-paced learning? Letter B, distance learning? Letter C, supervised industry training? O letter D, in-school training? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Okay, and expose po natin yung ating trainees, no, sa actual workplace. Ano po yan? Self-paced po ba? Distance? Supervised? O letter D, in-school training? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Pakilapag po. Okay, I see a lot of letter C. Tama ba yung letter C? Supervised po ba? Supervised industry training? So for sure, 'di ba nag-undergo po tayo lahat dito, most especially po no noong third year kami nagkaroon po kami ah ng chance no to work in an actual workplace or industry. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Letter C po ba? Letter A, letter B o letter D? Okay, wag na po natin patagalin. The best option here would be pugay po, no? Lahat ng nagsagot ng letter C. Ang gagaling. Letter C po yung tamang sagot. Ito po yung supervised industry training, no? Ito din po yung tinatawag natin or in synonymous din po sila, no? Sa tinatawag natin na OJT, di ba? Or on-the-job training. Okay, tandaan po, supervised industry training, ito po nag-involve ng on-the-job learning, no? In an actual workplace, allowing po or ina-allow po natin ng ating trainee or trainees to gain hands-on experience under supervision. Yan po yung ating supervised industry training. Pag sinabi kasi nating self-paced, ito po ay independent learning. Okay? So hindi po wala pong chance yung ating learner na mag-engage or ma-immerse po siya sa actual workplace. Kaya ECAS po yung letter A. Yung letter B naman natin, yung distance learning, of course, ito po ay conducted remotely, di ba? Or may halong online learning, yan po yung ating letter B, kaya ECAS din po siya. Yung letter D natin, in school training, tandaan po natin, yung training po ay nag-happen, no, within an educational institution, focusing mainly on theoretical, no, and simulated practice rather than real-world work environments. Kaya ECAS po yung letter D natin. Kaya nga po, kinakailangan po ng may industry linkage na tinatawag. Kasi nga po, yung schools natin or yung institution natin, nagkakaroon po ng partnership, di ba, sa mga industries. Kasi nga po, yung institution, makakapagbigay lamang po sila ng theoretical, di ba? So, yung mga more on trainings or immersions po, no, most especially in actual workplace, sa under na po yan ng industry. Kasi kaya nga po, kinakailangan na magkakaroon po ng OJT or supervised industry training yung ating mga students. Okay, so the best option here for item number 17 would be letter C. Okay, supervised industry training po. We go to item number 18. As a trainer, what must be your top priority? Again, top priority before planning a training session. Ano po ito? Is that A, cultural aspects? Letter B, physical abilities? Letter C, prior learning? O letter D, all of the above? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Ano po ba yung top priority natin as a trainee, no? Or as a trainer, bago po tayo mag-plan ng ating training session? Cultural aspect po ba? Letter B, physical? Letter D, prior learning? O letter D, all of the above? Ano po yung tamang sagot? Ang daming sumasagot ng letter D. Tama po ba yung letter D? Okay. Sure na ba kayo sa letter D? All of the above. Okay, so let's reveal ang tamang sagot po dito for item number 18 ay walang iba kundi yung letter D, okay? All of the above po. Tandaan po natin yung effective training natin ay nagre-require po, no, when it comes to considering yung mga multiple factors, included na po dyan yung cultural backgrounds, okay? Cultural aspects ng ating estudyante, yung physical abilities po nila, yung even po yung prior learning nila, no, to ensure inclusivity, relevance, and even effectiveness. Yan po yung ating yung dapat i-consider natin, no, prior po or before planning our training session, di ba? Yan po yung mga top priorities na kinakailangan na i-consider ng ating trainer. Okay, so dapat may cultural aspects, physical abilities, yung kanilang prior learning, kaya nga po nagkakaroon ng RPL, di ba? O yung recognition of prior learning. Okay? So of course, yung tatlong ito kinakailangan, okay, sa ating training na maging successful. Kaya nga po, letter D po yung tamang sagot. All of the above po. We go to item number 19. Trina is a candidate for assessment and has been given information about the required conditions during the assessment process. In assessment activity planning, what is this referred to as? Is it A, dimensions of competency? Letter B, assessment guidelines? Letter C, RPL or recognition of prior learning? Letter D, assessment certificate. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Information about the required conditions. Ano po yan? Dimension of competency po ba? Letter B, assessment guidelines, letter C, RPL, o letter D, assessment of certificate or assessment certificate rather. Ano po yung tamang sagot? Item number 19, what is the best choice here? Ang daming sumasagot ng letter B. Assessment guidelines, tama po ba yan? Okay. Magpugay po, no, lahat ng nagsagot ng letter B. Okay? Assessment of guidelines po. Yan po yung ating tamang sagot. Tandaan po, no, yung assessment guidelines natin, ito po nagpo-provide, di ba? Nagpo-provide po sila ng clear instructions, conditions, and criteria po, no, for candidates undergoing an evaluation. Ito po nag-i-ensure na na-understand nila mismo, no, yung assessment process. Kaya nga po, nagkakaroon ng, yan po yung main purpose rather ng ating assessment guidelines. Yung letter A natin, dimensions of competency, ito mali po ito, no? Kasi nga po ito po ay nagre-refer, no, sa different aspects of competence. Included na po yung ating task skills, 'di ba? Yung task management skills, yung job or industry requirements natin, pero hindi po sila specifically nag-outline po ng conditions of an assessment. Kaya X po yung letter A natin. Yung letter C naman natin, ang yung RPL or yung recognition of prior learning, ito po ay process, no, when it comes to evaluating yung candidate's existing knowledge and skills. Kaya ECAS din po siya. Yung letter G naman natin, of course, yung assessment certificate, ito po yung ina-award natin sa ating candidates or yung graduates natin, no, after po ng ating successful assessment. Kaya ECAS po siya kasi nga we're talking about here, mag-a-undergo pa lamang si Trina ng assessment. Kaya hindi pa po siya magkakaroon ng assessment certificate. Kaya ECAS po yung letter G. Of course, we're talking about here information. So the best option here would be letter B. Yan po yung assessment guidelines natin. We go to the last option here, or last item rather here. Item number 20. Which training methodology focuses on active learner participation? Again, active learner participation and hands-on experience. Ano po ito? Is it A, lecture-based training? Letter B, demonstration method? Letter C, experiential learning? O letter D, self-paced learning? Ano po yung tamang sagot for item number 20? Okay, item number 20, what is the best choice here? Pakilapag po. Okay, 20, ang daming sumasagot ng letter B. Meron ding letter C. Oh my goodness, ano po yung tamang sagot? May letter C. Ano po yan? For sure, ito po yung mga nalito, no? Sa ating quiz. Again, we're talking about here active learner participation. May hands-on experience. Ano po yan? Lecture-based po ba? Demonstration? Letter C, experiential? O letter D, self-paced? Ano po yung tamang sagot? And binabaha tayo ng letter C. Tama ba yung letter C? Okay, I'll give you one chance. Magbibigay ako ng one chance sa inyo. Magpalit po kayo. Magpalit kayo ng sagot. Item number 20. Ano po yan? A, B, C, or D? Okay, I'll give you one chance to select other options. Letter B po ba? Or magsistick kayo sa letter C? Ano yan? Magsistick po ba kayo sa letter C? Or mag-change kayo sa letter B? Solid kayo sa letter C? Are you sure? Letter C po ba yan? Or letter B? C pa rin kasi loyal ako. Okay. Sana all. Letter C. Okay, magkakaalaman tayo. So the best option here, magpugay po, okay? Palakpakan po yung sarili. So the best option here would be letter C, okay? Letter C po yung tamang sagot. Yan po yung experiential learning natin, okay? Tandaan po, yung experiential learning po, ito po ay klase ng method natin, no? Nag-i-emphasize po siya ng learning through experience, di ba? Makaka-experience po yung ating learners first hand, di ba? Yan po yung ating experiential learning, okay? Yung letter A natin dito, yung lecture-based, tandaan po natin, ito po ay passive learning. Okay? Passive learning approach po sa kung saan yung trainer natin ay nagde-deliver lamang ng information. Kaya X po yung letter A natin. Yung letter B natin, ito po yung demonstration method. Tandaan po, okay? Tandaan po, while this method nag-involve po siya ng showing how a task is done, it may not require full learner engagement, okay? Dinedemonstrate mo lamang sa iyong mga estudyante. Kaya nga po, X po yung letter A natin. Yung letter G naman natin, yung self-paced, ito po yung independent learning. Okay? Kaya ECAS din po siya. Hindi po siya magkakaroon ng or mag-engage sa active participation or magkakaroon po ng hands-on experience. So the best option here for item number 20 ay walang iba kundi yung letter C. Okay? Letter C po yung tamang sagot. Experiential learning. Okay? Experience, di ba? Yan po yung tamang sagot for item number 20. Okay, pakilapag po ng inyong scores. Ilan po bang nakuha out of 20? Okay. May nagpalit ng letter B. Agoy. Okay. Yan po yung actually yung board examination, no? Magkakaroon ka po talaga ng dilemma doon, most especially kapag medyo malapit-lapit po or synonymous po yung mga tanungan doon. So dapat kung ano po yung una, 'di ba? Na una na kuha mo, so doon ka na po, okay? Mag-stick ka na, huwag ka na po magpalit-palit ng answers. Okay? Ano po yan? Out of 20, nakakuha po ng 18. Okay, very good. For the top notcher na po ito. 19. Okay, shout out po no kay Sir Arman Paulo. Okay, nakakuha po ng 19 out of 20. Meron din po dito si Mamo Naleza out of 20, nakakuha po ng 18. Okay, John Patrick, 19. Miss Salve o Sir Salve, 17. Okay. Of course, si Ma'am Chad dito nakakuha ng perfect score. Okay, very good po. Meron ding 19, meron ding 18. Okay? So of course, teachers, magkakaroon po tayo ng final coaching tomorrow kay Sir Melvin po. So I hope na mag-participate po kayo, no? At least mag-cooperate po kayo sa ating live discussion tomorrow. Kasi nga po, ilalapag ko po doon lahat ng mga concepts na nalalaman ko po sa ating major chef. Okay, may requirement lang po ako. Magdala po kayo ng tubig. Okay, magdala po kayo ng tubig, na maraming tubig. And of course, yung papel at saka pen. Okay, so at least po, iti-test natin or i-assess po natin out of 300 plus items. Okay, ilan po ba yung nakuha ninyo? Okay, 9 out of 20 si Ma'am Patricia kasi nga po nagpalit siya. Okay. Okay, 19 out of 20, 19 out of 20. Okay, tomorrow po, no, yung time po natin, that's from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, from umaga hanggang hapon. Okay, magkasama po tayo. Okay. Okay, so that would be all, teachers. Thank you po for participating. Again, remind ko lang po, magkakaroon po tayo ng summative exam this Wednesday. Okay, yan po yung second summative exam natin. So, of course, ito na po yung last session natin. Okay, session 10. Dito na po nagtatapos yung ating sessions. So, the rest po, final coaching na po tayo. Again, teachers, thank you po for participating. So, I wish you all the best. And of course, raise our flag and ace the board examination. Dalawa lang po dapat yung option natin. Kapag hindi po tayo top-notcher, a high board rater po tayo. Okay? So, thank you so much po.